Welcome to the new stage of history on Steps Gaming. Today, we're going to talk about one of the best fighting games of all time, and it's been
Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold.
And I absolutely love Soul Calibur II. There are so many amazing things to talk about with this game, but I'm going to start at the very, very beginning of how I first played this game. So the game came out in August of 2003 in the US on console. It was earlier released in the actual arcade. This is, towards the end of the time in the arcades, but I didn't even play it till console. I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't see this in the arcade at my university at the time. But Soul Calibur 2. I played Soul Calibur 1 on Dreamcast. I remember how monumental Soul Calibur 1 was on the Dreamcast, so it made me so hyped. I had to pre-order it. And get down to GameStop at the Lafayette Mall when I was going to Purdue. Had to drive down there, pick up the game, and I actually got the game on the PlayStation 2. And people be, well, there was 3 special characters you could get, so why'd you get the PS2 version, right? So first off, let's just refresh that each one of the games for the Xbox, the PlayStation 2, and the GameCube each had an exclusive character. Obviously, the GameCube was the one that got the Nintendo exclusive character, which was Link, and it was not Wind Waker Link, it was Ocarina of Time Link, and this really worked out quite perfectly. So you'd think most people would desire to get that version. Well, my issue with that version was I actually played a lot of fighting games. I played fighting games on the PlayStation, fighting games on PS2, fighting games on the Super Nintendo, and you would look at the controller and they'd always have similarities, right? You either get an arcade stick with 6 buttons across and a joystick, or you would play, something like this, where it'd have 4 buttons, older one's just a D-pad, and you'd have some triggers, right? Well, when I was thinking about this, I'm going to be playing a lot of Soul Calibur 2, because this game's going to be amazing! And I thought about it, and I go, wait a second, if I get a GameCube, this here is what I'd have to play Soul Calibur 2 on. And I remember playing Soul Calibur original on the Dreamcast, and how amazing it was, and I thought, you know what, I can't be playing Soul Calibur. I mean, this is great for Super Smash Brothers, this is great for a lot of games on the GameCube. I absolutely love this controller, that's why I bought it for my Switch too. But I don't want to play Soul Calibur on this. I just don't. It's not a good way to play, in my opinion. Now, does it work? Sure, you can make it work. It works, but it wasn't for me. So then I had to decide between the Xbox version and the PS2 version. And what ended up happening is one of my friends that used to be my roommate at the time in college, he bought the Xbox version with Spawn, and I bought PS2 with Heihachi. And I just thought, you know what, people are going to sleep on this PS2 version maybe because people are going to want Link or Spawn, and I thought, you know what, let's go with the PS2 version, and I did. And so that was the one I played first in my apartment there at Purdue University. And I played a lot of the Xbox version as well. And I absolutely loved all these exclusive characters. Now, did I miss out on the Link? Yeah, I missed on the Link. Obviously, I've played him since, but I think it was a small price to pay to not have to play a fighting game on this controller. Now, were there probably other options? Sure, but when you're just thinking about it, you're like, I just want to be like, I always want this ready to go. I already got a PS2 controller. It's pretty similar to the Super Nintendo controller, obviously a little bit more modern. And so I went ahead and, did the PS2 version, and wow, did that game absolutely wow me, because it had so many different modes and such amazing music, and the announcer. Oh my god, it just mixed so perfectly. It's like they spent so much time on this game. This game was set in kind of like this medieval fantasy period, the late 1500s. You got characters that are based from feudal Japan. You got Mitsurgi, and then you got Raphael, who's the fencer.
Watch quietly and learn.
And then, like, you got Ivy. Do you know Ivy? She's like, man, who didn't want Ivy to beat the hell out of them? This, they found a way to take this dominatrix looking character and turn her into a character that would work in this medieval fantasy period. And she was definitely the looker. I mean, that's the one that all the guys were looking back at back at the day. That and hockey for sure. But the characters just designed so well. I just absolutely amazing. But as soon as I think of Soul Calibur 2, I think of that time going to the mall, picking it up at GameStop, and having that first experience with the game, and then playing with my friend Andy and playing Soul Calibur 2 both on Xbox and PlayStation. They played very similar, and all the different competing we would do in the versus mode for just hours playing each other. So who did you play as in Soul Calibur 2? Did you use one of the exclusive characters like Link or Heihachi or Spawn, or maybe even a character like Necrid or Raphael, Sophitia or Mitsurgi? Let me know in the comments down below. Who are you gonna choose? And it was always like you knew who they were gonna choose, so then you'd have to choose a counter pick, right? So like sometimes you want somebody with a little bit of close range, you'd play like Maxi with the nunchucks, or you wanted somebody to, with like a staff like Keelik or Sumina, and just keep your distance, play the game, right? And then there's always some killers. There's some characters that are surprisingly, you think they're a long range character, and then a really good short range if they have mastered that character, somebody like Nightmare. And you would just go back and forth, changing characters, playing the game, having lots of fun. And then not only was it trying to pick the best character with the best weapon to counter the other opponent, but it also the most fun way to win. No matter what, you could be getting annihilated, but the most fun way to win always was to be losing and be down to your last shred of life, and then to pull off a move where the other person gets thrown out of the ring and you get a ring out. Most satisfying win. Now a lot of other games have ring out, but for some reason sometimes you pick them up with your bow, or you grab them and then you just throw them in the process of your normal grab move, and then it's a ring out. Or maybe they come charging at you and they do a slide kick, and boom, right out of the ring. Always was a very satisfying way to win. The gameplay, very good. Obviously the music puts you in the mood. The characters are all there. I mean, this game is just rather flawless and very satisfying. Not only to play two-player versus a friend. I mean, those were my best memories, really, but the weapon master mode, you would just sit there for hours playing the weapon master mode, trying to master the game. And it was like they would give you'd get so far and you think like you're doing really well, and then there would be like this challenge where you're like, really? Like when you're fighting like 5 people. And not only are you fighting 5 people, but as you knock their energy down, it keeps going up. You have to keep hitting them continuously in a span so that they actually die. Otherwise, they're coming back to life, baby. And not only do you have to be one like that, not 2, not 3, but 5 different Soul Calibur characters with their life just increasing as you go. And there's a good chance that you are gonna lose. the composer Yoniki Nakasuru, and I hope I pronounced that right because, you know, it's a challenge for me. But each stage is like an epic from a Hollywood movie. Like, each stage has its own song that's unique to that character's setting. So like, you get Masurgi, you get a medieval feudal Japan. If you get like somebody like Astroth, you get this gothic dark music. Same with Inferno, the final boss of the game. Like, some of these scores are just like the chef's kiss on the game, man. Like, they almost sound like they belong in this epic JRPG, but yet they're in a fighting game, and it works. It's like the most unique fighting game soundtrack, and it can't work in any other game for a fighting game. But like, man, just the time period that this takes place in, the music, the levels, the character design, it really puts you in that place. And it's just a phenomenal game. And Yoniki Nakasuru is a genius. And I wish there was more music in other games by this person, because I just, you know, it's just so amazing. This orchestral cinematic music. Give me more. We need another Soul Calibur. We'll get more into that. At the filming of this video, there's only one official way currently open for business to play this, and that would be on the Nintendo Switch 2 GameCube Online, where they added Soul Calibur II as a launch day release. And this is bittersweet. It's bittersweet because, I mean, the GameCube version's always a fan favorite because of Link, you know. And granted, it wasn't the one I grew up playing, but it's still Soul Calibur 2, which is amazing. And I was really looking forward to getting a Switch 2 to play some online games. But the issue is that you can only play with people on your friends list. It doesn't have open lobbies, it doesn't have random matchups, it doesn't have any of that, because it's just the GameCube ROM, and then you go in a room and you invite your friends, and then it emulates like if they were there with you. And so, heaven forbid 4 people get in the room like they do for Mario Strikers. Mario Strikers, you put 4 people in a room, you can figure it out. You go to a 2-player game, it's a mess. But either way, whether I have 2 people in the room or 4 people in the room, the matches are laggy. They're not good. It doesn't give you any sort of matchmaking, and it's not the celebration that Soul Calibur 2 deserves. You say, how could that be? This is an old game. You're playing an old game. Well, I know better because I had the Xbox, well, I still have it. I have it on my Xbox Series S, and I play it all the time. The Xbox 360 version, which was Soul Calibur 2 HD Online. It, of course, was redone to have HD graphics, 16:9, which you can play the GameCube version of 16:9, just FYI. It just does not look as sharp, and you could tell in this video when I was showing a GameCube version versus a Xbox 360 version, because those are the only versions I put in here. I didn't bring out any old original hardware or anything like that. I purposely filmed everything with the Xbox 360 version, which has Heihachi and Spawn. It has both exclusive characters from the PS2 and Xbox, and it was based off the PS2 version, but then added online, things like that. And HD graphics absolutely runs phenomenally. It doesn't have the best matchmaking, but you do, I mean, as long as you get in the room, you could get a random matchup. And it, you know, and the problem is the game is so old at this point. It came out in 2013 on the Xbox 360 that the lobbies are dead. So the only way to play that is if you know somebody that already bought the game because it's delisted, and it was digital. And the only way you can play it is if you already purchased it. So it's very much like playing the Switch Online Edition in that case. But if we could go back in time to 2013 so I could have a full lobby full of people play Soul Calibur 2 HD Online, that would be great. But I was too busy taking care of some small children, things like that at the time, and I missed out. I'm sad the game was delisted. I got it right before it delisted when I got an Xbox Series S a couple years ago, and it's the best way to play this game. There also are the best way to play this game legally. There is some Soul Calibur that you can play online. There's a Plus edition where somebody took the GameCube ROM, hacked it, made Spawn, because apparently Spawn's moves were in the game, but there was no actual Spawn design. So somebody like turned a Valdo character into a Spawn, and you can play this, and apparently it has the all 3 characters from all these different versions, the special characters, but there's no official release. There's no official way to do that. So really the best way to play is the Xbox 360 or PS3 version, which was based on the PS2. But you can't get it anymore. So the only way you're going to play this on a modern console is if you play it on the Switch 2 right now. And I hate that it was delisted, and it was delisted a year or 2 ago, and it stinks. I wish people could experience this. It's been on Game Pass before even. So Nintendo has a contract, obviously. I really hope it's not exclusive to Soul Calibur 2. I really hope. I mean, I keep hearing rumors that Namco's done with Soul Calibur. They want to focus on Tekken. But to me, it was never about Tekken. I don't care about Tekken. I care about Soul Calibur. Make a Soul Calibur 7 and re-release Soul Calibur 2. Make a collection. Soul Calibur 1, Soul Calibur 2, and Soul Calibur 3, the arcade version with online play, HD or 4K graphics. I would be totally stoked. I'd love to see a re-release of Soul Calibur 4. I know it's going to be a little bit more challenging with the Star Wars characters, but man, it's a shame. It's a shame because the GameCube version, the way it is, this game deserves more. It's so damn good. We got so many remasters coming out all the time now. Soul Calibur 2, Bandai Namco. Man, come on. We need more than just the GameCube ROM. We need a definitive 4K edition with online play. Bring back the love, man. Bring back the love. But anyway, the soul still burns for me, obviously. Even now, over 2 decades later, it's one of my favorite fighting games ever. And hopefully I showed you that in this video. Let me know what Soul Calibur game was your favorite. If you have any Soul Calibur 2 memories and which version you had and what special character is your favorite. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And you know what? The soul still burns, baby.
You win!
Get lost, you're in my way.